Another episode of the Sept podcast. I'm your host, Brant Freeman. What a week we're coming off of here at Texas State. This past weekend, Texas State football with a monumental upset of Baylor, the first Power 5 win in program history, first win over Baylor. Bobcats came into the game 28.5-point underdogs, and they really handled business in Waco, a 42-31 win for Texas State. By the way, that same day, Bobcat volleyball with a sweep over the Big 12. Houston Cougars ranked 13th in the country. So, man, Saturday was a tremendous day to be a Bobcat. And joining me in the podcast this week is somebody who had a hand in that win in Baylor and one of the newest members of the Bobcat football family, Shawn Holton, joins us in this week's podcast. Shawn is a first-year transfer from Incarnate Word, one of 9 former Cardinals turned Bobcats on this team. One of a handful on defense as well. He and Caleb Culp both play safety. Were formerly at UIW. Sam Latham, who plays defensive end, also from Incarnate Word, and of course all those offensive linemen, and Cole Wilson, a wide receiver. So Shawn joins me now. Shawn, how are you, my man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well. And by the way, if anybody wants to look up Shawn on social media, it's easy to find him. The Shawn Holton, which I think is a great handle for you, by the way, Shawn. I love being in front of the name.
No, I'm saying, gotta keep it professional.
Right. Well, hey, man, we've got to start with the win over Baylor from this past Saturday. Again, the outsiders, had a lot of doubt, for this team. One, not knowing what this team was capable of because so much was new with the new coaching staff, all the new transfers brought in. I think 72 new players, 53 of them on scholarship, if I have the numbers right there. Baylor had won this game a year ago by 35 points. And so, you understand why people had reason to doubt. But you quieted those doubters in a big way. How big was that for you and the guys last week?
It was really big, man. It was a game that everybody was talking about, and it was just something to be able to see the whole team come together and be able to actually see our talent. We got, like you said, all these new guys, all these new transfers. So we understood we were good and we could see us battling every day in practice and stuff. But when you go against another person, you're able to release that tension. You're able to see everything fly and see how everybody reacts when the bullet flies. It was kind of a good release. We weren't really focused too much on the stage. We was just focused on playing our best brand of football. So it was really nice to come out and get that dub and see how everybody reacts, see all the coaches happy, see our fan base happy. We just understand how big it was for the university, one, and then now big for our season going forward. And we just want to look forward and just be able to play that way or even better in the whole season. So it was a great win.
Shawn, does it motivate the guys, when you see the point spread being what it was and, many people, picking Baylor to win that game and the expectations were that you weren't going to win. Does that actually motivate you or do you guys just shut that noise off?
Yeah, that's some extra motivation. This is like playing with a chip on your shoulder. My position coach, Coach Deck, said whenever he brought us up, he was like, they got us as the underdogs, but we're the big dogs. So really, people really don't know that the coaches do a great job recruiting. Coach Hughes does a great job in the weight room, strength with speed. So we understood that we was matched up physically, and like he said, we was the big dog. So man, that's just a lot of motivation. We love being the underdogs. We love when people doubt us, and Texas State hasn't had a lot of success in the past. So people have the right to talk, but when we come up and we show every week, then we can silence it.
You mentioned your position coach, Coach Dex. Dexter McCoy was with you at Incarnate Word as well, a guy that could play a little bit in his own day, spent some time in the NFL, of course, with the Chargers. What have you gotten to know about Coach Dex?
Coach Dex, he's a big family guy. He's big on his morals and he's big on consistency. Like Coach Dex, he always going to bring the best out of you every day, and he expects the best out of you as well as himself. Like, say we mess up something in practice, it's not just like a us thing. It's a like us as a whole, like he understands. He's like, maybe I got to do a better job coaching it or explaining it, or, you know, he's saying he's going to break it down to us until we understand. We might have to stay in the meeting room a little longer, but he's always going to be prepared and make sure that we got that competitive spirit and that we're always competing and that we're always trying to get better, because consistency and competitiveness for longer, that's his motto. As long as we have that, then we're always excelling. And just being with Coach Dex has raised my ceiling so much. Before Coach Dex, you know, before I met him at UIW, I've really felt like a stagnant player, very complacent. And then when I met him, I started working with him. I just felt my ceiling rise every day, and just realized there's so much I could work on. You know, there's just no gaps for being mediocre.
Do you feel like you can still play?
Oh yeah, Coach Dex could play for sure. He could play safety, he could play linebacker. He was just out there working right now. I was talking to him. I was like, "Hey, bro, you might need to suit up tomorrow, or suit up Saturday if you keep on playing like that."
So I want to go back to the game, you know, in Waco this past weekend. I thought really one of the biggest sequences was after the offense started 3-and-out, punt the ball away. Baylor gets a couple of big plays, then they get inside the 5. And you're kind of thinking like, all right, you know, Baylor's going to, you know, hit you with that first punch out of the gate. But you guys hold defensively. You don't let them get in the end zone. They settle for 3. Your offense comes right back, bam, get a touchdown, that pass to Ishmael Mahdi, you know, and you never look back after that. How, do you feel as if the defense created momentum by getting that stop early in the game?
Oh yeah, yes sir. I mean, the beauty of football is it's the ultimate team sport. So, you know, if the offense is down, the defense could pick them up. If the defense is down, special teams could pick us up. It's just like, it's a back and forth thing. So yeah, the momentum came from the defense, but the momentum came from the offense as well, and the energy picked up. As long as you never let your energy lag and you stay the same person, you stay true to who you are, and you don't ever get to pouting or you ever get to thinking the worst, everything's going to turn out good, especially with the type of offense we got and the type of coaches we got. You know, we'll never waver from that.
You know, I fast forward to the fourth quarter, and, you know, Baylor's trying to come back. You'd built this 18-point lead to get it down to 11. They're driving again. They get it inside the red zone. You know, if they score, it becomes a one-possession game, and who knows how things turn out. But the defense again comes through. And I thought you guys were so good once Baylor got inside the 20-yard line of really standing your ground. You forced a turnover. It was you that got a pick there in the end zone. How big was that moment for you?
It was just a great moment, man. Playing the game for a while, this being my biggest game, my first Power 5 game, and just being at the FCS level, I just really felt like I belonged. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really having my best game up until that point. So once I got the turnover, I really felt like, yeah, like I'm in here, like I'm here, I'm ready. We're here, we're ready. And it was just a screaming, like just a great moment, probably the best moment I had in college football. But most importantly, I was just happy I was able to come up big for my team, because I know how much work my guys put in. I know how much work the coaches put in. I'm happy the coaches brought me here and believing in me. So, I mean, all in all, that was just a perfect moment for me. It was great. I loved it all.
You know, the reaction from Bobcat Nation has been tremendous. This fan base has been chomping at the bit for a moment like that, you know, for a win like that over Baylor. And, you know, it's been a tough stretch, you know, for this program over the past, 10 years or so. And to see all the fans, alumni, and donors really kind of rally together, you know, and excitement after you won was great. But what I'm curious about, I saw how the fans reacted. I want you to take me inside the locker room. What was that locker room scene like afterwards when you guys won the game?
I mean, of course, you know, we gonna cut that little baby on. So, you know, we had that little baby playing. But I mean, the locker room, we was lit, but we knew what it was. We knew we was gonna come in there and handle some business. So we was happy, and we wanted to celebrate the win. You know, our little 24-hour rule, we gonna celebrate it because, you know, we did something, we made history, but we also gotta look forward to what it can, because this win doesn't mean anything if we don't win the next game. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we was happy, but we understood the task at hand. Now we got that target on our back.
I want to go back to your time in Incarnate Word. You were there for 4 seasons, tremendous year a year ago. But if I recall, in the COVID year, 2020, FCS football doesn't play until the spring. You guys, I think, played 5 games in the spring or something like that. How strange was that for you to be playing spring football, college football in the spring?
It was really strange, honestly. It was one of those deals where guys went home after the COVID stuff happened. We didn't know if we was gonna come back, have that fall season, start practicing in the fall, thinking we're preparing for a game. Ended up never playing a game. Then we get to the spring season, and people getting COVID. We got, Cam Ward, he just stepped up on the scene. So we had a new quarterback. It was just like a whole bunch of different stuff going on. But I mean, it was nice, being able to play football because, we love that. That's what we're there for, play football and get an education. So the spring was nice. It was just really different.
Yeah. Well, shortly after, the spring, you guys you play in the fall of 2021. Then there's the coaching change. Insert G.J. Kenny and a lot of the assistants that are now here at Texas State as well. And you guys turned it on last year, win 12 games, a couple plays away from playing for the national championship a year ago. Won a conference championship. So many of your teammates, all conference players, all American players. What was it like in getting to play for Coach Kenny a year ago? And what was that season like for you and the guys that had put in so much at that UIW program, and then you finally have the success you did last year?
Man, it was just great because being from UIW, you understand you don't got the best facilities, or you don't got everybody like calling your name or the big buzz around you. So being at UIW, you really gotta love what you do, and you gotta come and grind every day. So when Coach Kenny came, a lot of guys were skeptical about hitting the portal. Coach Kenny came, addressed the team, and everybody understood he was genuine. He brought a great staff, so we was able to retain a lot of the players after that Coach Morris era. So having Coach Kenny come in, and then the team we had together, because we already had a lot of leaders, a lot of guys who played a lot of snaps, and a lot of guys who just understand the moment. Coming back from a conference championship season, we knew that we could do something great, especially with this staff. So Coach Kenny really got the ball rolling, and he just really got the mode, the vibe going, and try to help us get put on the map. Did what he can for us.
All right, so Nash Jones, Caleb Johnson, Dorian Strawn, Himeto Bebo, Emeka Bebo, Cole Wilson, Caleb Culp, Sam Latham, Shawn Holton. I think that's the 9 UIW transfers. So when all of you came over from Incarnate Word, to San Marcos, I'm sure you developed some friendships with those guys over the years, with your time in San Antonio, now here in San Marcos. Who are you tightest with that group?
Oh, for sure, Caleb Culp. But hey, a lot of people don't know that Chance Main was at UIW as well before he went to Colorado.
Right, so 10 now. So,
but yeah, Caleb Culp, he's my dog, man. Hang out with him every day. We're roommates currently. We was roommates when we were at UIW. Played against each other in high school. That's probably the person I'm tightest with.
So, I mentioned San Antonio. You played at Incarnate Word. The game coming up this weekend is in San Antonio, but it's at UTSA. So a homecoming of sorts, I suppose, but certainly a much different set of circumstances now. This is a huge rivalry game. These two schools do not like one another. The rivalry goes back to the men's basketball days in the 90s, well before UTSA had a football program. Once they got it in 2012, or 11, these two first met in 2012. They played each other 4 times, and UTSA, hate to admit it, they've had Texas State's number in the series. So just like last week in Waco, this is a huge game on a big stage and a chance for you guys to prove yourselves, and give, this fan base something they've been clamoring for, and that's for a win in this series against UTSA and a chance to start 2-0 for the first time in a long time. How big is this game for you and the guys this weekend?
It's a huge game just because it's the next game. Mm-hmm. Honestly, we don't want to get too high on our horse, and we just want to take everything day by time. Really, our main focus is having a great practice tomorrow. Then after that, having a great practice Friday. Because if we take every moment one step at a time, when the time the game comes, everything's gonna be light and everything's gonna be easy. We understand the magnitude, but every game's a big game. So it's a big rivalry game, but it's just we need all of them. We need all those.
What makes college football so special, all these rivalry games, and, looking forward to seeing how this one plays out, this Saturday. I do want to go back, though, for a moment, because I know you guys are trying to put Baylor behind you, right? You have to – people talk about bouncing back from wins. You also have to bounce back or from losses. You also have to bounce back from wins sometimes. But one thing that came out from the game at Baylor was Joey Hobart, right? And you know where I'm going with this. Hobart has a massive game, led the team in catches and yards, had a SportsCenter top 10 catch, had a big touchdown in the fourth quarter. Well, it comes out over the telecast, the nickname Joe Dirt. And so people started asking, well, where did that come from? And the first time anyone had heard it came from you at a press conference, I think, during fall camp, maybe the week before the season opener. And you had said, Joe Dirt because he runs dirty routes. So was it you that actually came up with that nickname?
I had heard it from somebody. I'm not too sure I heard it from, because at first I didn't know his name because, everybody's transfers and stuff. I was like, bro, who number 10? Like, bro been going crazy. Bro don't wear no gloves. Bro just be going crazy at practice. Like, he be making some crazy catches. I'm like, who is he? And someone's like Joey Swag, like Joe this. And then someone's like Joe Hobart. And then someone was like Joe Dirt. I was like, Joe Dirt? Like, all right, Joe Dirt, tough. Why they say Joe Dirt? I'm like, man, that man dirty, bro. He be running dirty routes, dirty catches, dirty plays. I'm like, hey, I like that. Joe Dirt. I'm going to call him Joe Dirt. So, I mean.
Rock the hair?
I think he could, but he more of like a comb over type guy for sure. The nickname cool though. I think he should keep the nickname though.
So we got Joe Dirt, got the Big Show with Caleb Johnson. Any other nicknames on this team that we should know about?
Yeah, for sure. Brian Holloway, we either call him Captain America or we call him Hollywood Holloway. Dan Foster, Dan the Animal, Dan the Man. So those are probably the more notable big names.
Do you have a nickname, Sean?
They call me Sean Don. We got a couple of Seans on the team. We got a Sean Shaw, a little Sean Coleman. So they call me Sean Don. It was just something my friends always been calling me since I was younger.
So you're from the DFW area. Tell me a little bit, about your background, growing up, playing football. What inspired you to play in the first place?
So originally, I was born in Arlington, Texas, big Cowboys fan. Used to always watch the games growing up. My dad, big Cowboys fan. My mom's an Eagles fan, actually. So we had a little rivalry in the household. But that was just always something that was fun to me. My dad, he played basketball, but they would throw me in multiple sports like basketball, football, and stuff. And once I put the football in my hand, I just loved it. I just loved being able to run around. I loved the physicality about it. And then I just was presented opportunities throughout life that put great mentors in my life that really helped me fall more in love with the game and in tune with it, understand it from a mental aspect. Mm-hmm. So that was really the main thing that just started everything going with this football.
Tell me a little bit more about what you like to do outside the game. I know it consumes a lot of your time, right? Between, time in the weight room, film study, practice, the games themselves, and the workload you have to take on as a student, being a student athlete. But when you're not involved with the game, what is the Shawn Holton doing to unwind?
To unwind, man, I really just, if I'm not chilling with my family or I'm chilling with my friends, I'm either like reading a book, watching some movies on the game. But I mean, I just try to craft all my time around just being better for myself, better for my future, whether it's in an educational standpoint or in a football standpoint. Because I got all the time in the world in my hands, so I just want to use it to my advantage.
You mentioned your education. What is it that you're studying here at Texas State?
Right now, I'm going for a second bachelor's degree in psychology. At UIW, I graduated with a bachelor's degree in sociology and a minor in criminal justice and psychology. So I'm trying to work at that.
What is it you would like to do with those degrees once you're done playing football?
If I don't go into coaching, because I feel like I would love coaching. I would love to develop young men in the game. But if I don't go into coaching, I'll probably want to work in data analysis or public relations. Mm-hmm. Maybe the sports psychology aspect. I took a sports psychology class and I had a great teacher in there who really, gave me steps forward to go deeper with that process. So there's really multiple ranges I would want to go to. But right now I'm just focused. My heart's on football so much, playing in the league, coaching after maybe. But I just understand if I was able to get my education, there's just going to be multiple avenues I could go through to be successful in life.
Well, Sean Don, this has been great, man. Getting to know a little bit more about you and your story. Congratulations on such a big win. This past weekend, I know we're well beyond the 24-hour rule. So, your focus is on UTSA. Best of luck in that game. I know that Bobcat fans want that just as bad as they got the win last week. So best of luck to you, not only this Saturday, but the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Let's pack the dome.
There you go. That again, the Shawn Holton joining us on the States Up podcast. You can now call him Sean Don. He's also got other nicknames for his teammates that we found out more about today. Let's wrap up the podcast for this week. For the Shawn Holton, I'm Brant Freeman, reminding you to keep your states up, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. States up.